Welcome back to coverage of Dreamhack Denver. We are closing in on the business end of things. Riley Knight joined by Noah Walker. And Noah, it's time for the semi-finals. This is, as we mentioned before, essentially a win and in for Worlds. The winners of the semi-finals, the two players who are fortunate and skilled enough to get to the final, will also be punching their ticket to the World Championship being held later this year. So Noah, huge amount on the line here. Never mind the 30 grand that's going to be given away in to the winner in the final. The World Championship, something that for a lot of players comes without a price.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Riley. This is the highest pressure match that we've been able to watch all weekend. They're playing for tons of money, and even more so, they're playing for glory right now. Being able to punch your ticket to the World Championship is no joke. That is a huge Magic accomplishment for even, among the best players in the world. So really, really, really good stuff coming up.
Yep, we've got two players who are one match away from the World Championship. So you can imagine the two of them will be working hard to try to keep their mental game locked down. So important to keep the nerves under control in situations like this, high-pressure environments. Let's see how they go. Let's have a look at the deck lists as well for the two players that we'll be watching, starting off with Devon Straub. I believe we saw Devon play you and I yesterday, Noah, during our rounds, playing Golgari Yawgmoth. This is a deck that's been pretty impressive in terms of its not just its versatility, but also how resilient it is, right? Yesterday we saw this deck fight through the full four copies of Crashing Footfalls, and didn't seem to be too troubled by it. There's been some recent updates to this deck, extra copies of Agatha's Soul Cauldron, for instance. The deck it's tough, it's resilient, it's tenacious, and it'll be great to see it in action here.
Yeah, really, really lovely deck, honestly, in my opinion. Being able to truly shine again after the banning of Fury. I really like Devon's build. It looks really, really solid to me. And, he's been crushing this tournament. As you said, we got to watch him yesterday, Riley, a bit on camera, and he clearly knows his deck really well, finding a really sick grist line to kill his opponent from 16 just with his creatures in play, thanks to Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So I'm excited to be able to watch him again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully we'll get another great performance from Devon. But his opponent here on the other side of things, it's another Cascade deck, but it's not Rhinos. It's Living End this time. This is an old deck. This is some boomer modern stuff here that we've got. But very, very differently built compared to, what it was many years ago. The cycling creatures have become so much better. And now with the free Evoke Elementals, Grief, Subtlety, the deck's better than ever, not to mention Shardless Agents. So this is a list that, once again, like the Rhino deck, can kind of just go off with a single card and can do it pretty early as well.
Totally. Really, really solid looking Living End list here for Aiden. I think Grief is just one of the hugest upgrades, being able to pitch dead Living Ends from your hand, and then it also coming back after a Living End resolves. I think that card really took this deck even to the next level. And as well as you were saying, Riley, the cyclers that they have nowadays are just really strong cards. Like them coming into play, it makes it hard for you to even win a game that maybe before you would have been able to win.
Yes. Yeah, we've come a long way from Pale Recluse, and I don't even remember the other ones. That big monstrous Carabid. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Carabid. That was a modern staple for years.
It was for a while, man. And now we've got Oliphants, we've got Generous Ants, we've got really, really solid options to cycle into your graveyard and then cheat into play with the Living End. Let's see how things pan out between these two. Devon Straub on Golgari Yawgmoth and his opponent Aiden Lamson on Living End. Devon Straub dressed to impress. Obviously, here is what channeling is in a canister with that hat. I tried to find one of those hats, man. So I bought a costume for Halloween last year, right? And it was from a costume shop. And I wanted to find one of those little kid propeller hats, and they didn't have one at the costume store.
Oh, damn!
It's such a good look, dude.
Yeah, they just did not want to see you out here having too much fun. So
they're trying to keep my drip under control, dude.
Yeah, that is really sad.
It's just out of control. They're coming back in a big way, the propeller hats. Let me tell you, the propeller hats are gonna be huge. 2024 is the year of the propeller hat. I can tell.
I respect that.
Young Wolf, turn number 1 here for Devon. He might have been hoping for something like a Delighted Halfling, but instead it's going to be Young Wolf. And Aiden here plays a land, says go. Looks like he's good to go with some cyclers in hand, as well as the violent outburst as well. So we could see a turn 3 living in for Aiden, but things for Devon developing nicely as he continues to play further creatures. In comes the young wolf as well.
So one thing that I'm a little bit surprised to see this game already is Aiden not deciding to use his cyclers on his main phase. It is open deck list, and he knows that Devon has, these 4 copies of Orcish Bowmasters in his deck. So I think that he really wants to just use all his cyclers at sorcery speed because keeping up the mana is not very important. There's not too much that he can represent as far as interaction. So I think, going forward in this match, it's going to be really important for Aiden to use his cyclers before Devon has an option to resolve an Orcish Bowmasters.
Playing around that card is, man, it's brutal. Like I play a fair bit of Timeless on MTGA.
Yeah,
a format with Brainstorm in it. Oh boy, I've been punished, man. I've been punished really, really badly for my ill-timed brainstorms in the face of Orcish Bowmasters. It's brutal.
Yeah, that is tough. Yeah, Timeless seems fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It feels kind of like Modern did 7 or 8 years ago. It's really good. I enjoy it a lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. All right. What do we got going on here? Aiden continuing to cycle away. An Architect's Will this time. So his graveyard's looking nice and beefy. Back over to Devon here. Blood Artist, Young Wolf in play for him. Missing lands, maybe? He's whizzing those cards around so fast. I can't see if he's got a third land. I don't think he does.
It's a really tough spot to be in. Then if you're Devon, Aiden setting up for a really nice turn 3 here, even just being able to bring back three cyclers, it would be massive for him because he has the Oliphant and the Architects, and then as well as the Curator that he just cycled. So that is a ginormous board for turn 3, especially when you have no board state.
Oh no, it does have the land. Okay, and a Wall of Roots now as well. So a bit of an anemic start here for Devon. We've seen much better stuff from this deck in the past, but here I think Aiden just shoves the Cascade. Is there any reason not to? What could you be punished for here?
So if you're Aiden, there is a little bit to think about in this specific spot. I don't mind him just passing the turn because there's not too much that you can be punished by if you wait, especially having this Force of Negation in hand. And Devon not attacking with Young Wolf does sort of represent him having a chord for 1 or 2 rather, because he can, use the Wall of Roots for mana as well. So I don't hate it either way. Casting it here is fine. If there is something Devon can get with a chord for 2 here to slow this down, that would be really obnoxious.
What do we got? Patra? Oh, that does. All right. Well, the chord for 2. See what Devon goes and gets. Get another Young Wolf.
Yeah, maybe he's just hoping for some wolves. I'm honestly not really sure what he's going to get.
All right, let's see. Okay, just gets the Bowmasters.
Oh, maybe he's going to shoot the Bowmasters itself so that it comes back into play after the.
Oh, true. Yeah, that'd be a neat little sequence, because anything in the graveyard, as the Living End resolves, does come back into play. So Devon's going to put his Blood Artist into the bin. This brings back the Young Wolf, thanks to the Undying trigger. And the Blood Artist should come back into play. Yes, there it is. But a Young Wolf and a Blood Artist versus, oh boy, we got a lot going on the other side of things. Street Wraith, Oliphant, Curator of Mysteries, Architect of Will, and now Aiden gets to Fate Seal Devon as well, thanks to the Architect of Will. Agatha Soul Cauldron, Young Wolf, and a mystery card there. Aiden has to decide what he's going to force Devon to draw. There's no fetch lands or any other shuffle effects for Devon, so he's more or less locked into drawing whatever this card is. All right, pops him back on top. The The wrong way around. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, disaster. All right. We fixed it. So that's the end of Aiden's turn. Devon now has got to find a way to deal with this board, and it's not going to be easy. Court of Calling, I believe, in hand. And what looks like a land off the top. What's his way out of this now? I don't see how he digs himself out of this one.
Well, it seems like he's trying to set himself up with a Blood Artist. Maybe, he can chord for 3 here. Maybe get a Grist, set up something with the Grist. That doesn't sound too great. What he needs is to assemble his combo, right? He needs to get a Yawgmoth in play and then another Young Wolf, and then he can like sacrifice one, remove a counter from the other one, and then just kind of go off that way. The problem is I don't know if there's actually a way that he can assemble that combo before Aiden just, produces lethal damage.
Well, that's the thing. Even if he's able to do it next turn, he's going to take 500,000 from Aiden's creatures, so he's not going to have too much life to pour into the Yawgmoth to draw all those extra cards. I guess the Blood Artist negates the need for him to do that, and so he can draw a ton more than he would otherwise. But still, just the pressure he's under at this point is really huge.
Yeah, not really a great spot if you're Devon. It sucks because I think he has a chord in his hand, but he can't even chord for 4 here. So he might just have to like chord for a Young Wolf. And then, he doesn't even have particularly good blockers. And I'm pretty sure he has a Swamp in play. So he can't block the Street Wraith. Oliphant has Trample. Curator of Mysteries has Flying. Like, he just doesn't have great ways to deal with any of these creatures.
And the Architects of Will is just bigger. So, yeah, there's no good blocks. All right, Aiden down to 11 as he takes another 2 from his breeding pool. And we're going to send in the Clowns. In they come, all 4. So now it's up to Devon to find a way to survive this damage or survive this onslaught. What's he looking at here? 16?
Yeah, well, you got 3, 9, 13, 16, and then 2 Oliphant pumps when attacks, right?
Oh, true. Yeah, so 18.
18, and also he pumped up the Architects of Will, which is the only other creature that Devon can block. So it's 18 damage, plus both of the attackers have Trample that Devon could even possibly block. So
anyway, you slice it, it is a lot. It is a lot of damage here for poor old Devon, who really is having a tough time of things.
I think he has the Outburst too.
If Aiden has something like a Violent Outburst in hand as well, this could just be over, giving the team +1/+0. All right. Your move, Aiden. Is he able to seal this particular deal? Oh, we're going to see a chord? Chord for 1. Okay. But no, Force of Negation. And Aiden Lamson, one game away from a berth at the World Championship. A huge moment for him. Let's hope he's able to keep the excitement under control here, because Noah, he is probably closer than he's ever been in his entire life to snagging an invitation to the World Championship. So a huge moment for him. But your thoughts on that match? It looked like the Living End deck was able to sort of do exactly what it wanted to do. But I think the Yawgmoth deck just didn't seem to have a good start, didn't have a good hand, and didn't have any of the elements that it needed to come together for that match, that game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Riley. Not the greatest start there. Devon was hoping for a bit more early creatures, being able to really get the synergies going nice and well for himself. He wasn't really offered too much that was great, so yeah, I mean, going into this next game, I think I'm really gonna expect to see a little bit of a difference going on here. Really important game 1, for Aiden to win, because post board, the Yawgmoth deck kind of knows what to expect a little bit more. Can bring in these chalices on 0, have a little bit of a better way to fight.
I'm not sure. Did I disconnect just then, Noah? Did I make was it an embarrassing face that I made when I was frozen on the screen?
One copy of Endurance also could be a huge one. It sucks that Devin doesn't really have too many options as far as like, you know, ways to deal with a Resolve Living End. As we saw in the last game, he had a couple cute plays with this Orcish Bowmaster, you know, killing his own Blood Artist, bringing it back into play. And Yawgmoth is just naturally resilient to the Wraths. But other than that, it is not ideal.
All right, Noah, have I got you, mate? All right. Seem to be having a couple of issues at my end. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I do apologize. All right. Well, hopefully things are sorted. You got me, Noah?
I hear you. You hear me?
Thank goodness. I don't know what was going on, dude.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't know what was going on. We got wombats chewing on the internet cabling. I think like that. I was very worried though when it cut out. Did I make an embarrassing face like when someone cuts out in a Zoom call?
I couldn't see you. You were just gone forever.
Thank goodness, man. I hope I just departed into the black void of oblivion rather than look very silly. All right. Let's get underway with game number 2. Apologies for the disruption there, everyone, but we are ready, set, and go here. And both of these players, Noah, have got early and pretty brutal disruption against the opposing game plans here. Chalice of the Void on 0 for Devin, but on the other side of the table, it's a Leyline of the Void.
Yeah, just really hateful starts from both players, you know, starting off with their respective lock pieces to try and keep the other player down.
So in that situation with both players not having access to oh, never mind. Okay. Well, we're going to have a really interesting discussion about the texture of this matchup with both players unable to, you know, go to plan A. What's their plan B look like? But then Foundation Breaker comes along, gets rid of the Chalice, and so Aiden now back in business. Is a Grist. And Grist is unable to destroy the ley line in the way that the Foundation Breaker was able to destroy the Chalice, but still a way to build up a board here for Devin. We'll see what Aiden has now on this key turn number 3, although he doesn't have anything really to bring back. He's not going to want to fire off a Living End just yet, Noah.
Yeah, Devin not really having to worry about a turn 3 Living End here. As you said, that's a pretty good spot for him to be in. And also, you know, having Grist as his threat this game, really good in the face of Leyline, just a way that he can actually accrue value without having to rely too much on exactly what's in his graveyard.
Mm-hmm. It does mean, though, that while that Leyline is out, we won't see the absurd finish to a game we saw yesterday from the Golgari Yawgmoth player. Oh, we're going to see. All right. We're seeing Shardless Agent into Living End here, just to bring back that Foundation Breaker?
I think this is just Aiden's concession to the Devin possibly getting back into this game. I think if you're Aiden, you're thinking, how could I maybe even think about losing this game? And I think a lot of that involves Devin, untapping and then having like an Eldritch Evolution to get into a Reclamation Sage or a Court of Calling for a Reclamation Sage. So I think this is just kind of his way to fight against it. Oh wait, did he also? Okay, no, I thought I saw a Street Wraith, but I was like, I don't remember him cycling a Street Wraith, so that was just from his deck.
Important to note as well that the Shardless Agent does survive the Living End because it's not on the battlefield when the Living End resolves. The Cascade trigger is it comes about when the Shardless Agent is still on the stack. So the Shardless Agent actually resolves after the Living End does. That's why we see the Living End not destroying the Shardless Agent. So right now, it's not much of a board in Living End terms, you know, just a couple of 2/2s, but it's better than a kick in the teeth here for Aiden, who has Subtlety now. Going to the bin.
Yeah, Subtlety to answer the Yawgmoth. Not bad. It's certainly not Aiden's, preferred answer because the Yawgmoth is just going to come back next turn, but I felt like he kind of felt maybe a little bit of pressure to try and kill this Crystal while he could, and not really having too many other options with the cards in his hand. So it makes a little bit of sense.
Mm-hmm. But Yawgmoth's not going to be able to do its best work with this ley line out. So Devon needs something like a Reclamation Sage if he brought that in. Pick Your Poison would also do it here. Recent addition from the new Murder's Call of Mana set. Pick Your Poison, 1 mana Edict effect for artifacts, enchantments, and creatures with flying. And then come the 2/2s. Chris goes down to 1 loyalty. And the follow-up play for Aiden here, a Grief evoked to get rid of the Court of Calling. And you can see now, with Devon's body language, he doesn't seem to be too impressed with what's going on here.
I mean, luckily for him, this Yawgmoth is actually just quite good on this board. It answers the creatures by itself, blocking, and then he can also, maybe start sacrificing some stuff soon, drawing some cards. Looks like Devon's doing a little check here.
All right.
Seeing what Aiden could possibly get back with another Living End, and kind of just deciding, I don't want to kill. I don't know if I understand this block. He didn't want to kill a Foundation Breaker, but it doesn't seem like the Foundation Breaker is doing particularly much. So I guess he just blocked it and then put a -1 counter on it, which seems fine. I could have just seen him maybe even just killing both, but I guess there's no real reason for him to kill both. He can kind of wait on it. So
he's another Shardless Agent and Living End right at the top of the library here. And Devon sacrifices an insect. The Yawgmoth hits the exile zone. And now we're going to see a massive board brought back here for Aiden. Look at this. Not only the Waker of Waves, not only the Generous End, but also Subtlety and Grief, the card that you mentioned before, Noah. Really, really huge when it comes to having resolved a Living End, tearing apart the opponent's hand. And there it is. Again, we see Grief taking one of Devon's 2 remaining cards here. The poor bloke, he's been put through the ringer.
Wow, Aiden with an incredibly tight play too. So when the Living End resolved, right? This Shardless Agent was still on the stack, so he used the Subtlety to put the Shardless Agent back on top of his deck, just in case Devon was able to find an answer to all his creatures, so that he had another Living End locked up.
Really another backup copy. That's incredible. And Aiden, with that tight play and very judicious deck choice here, has made it all the way to the World Championship. So well done to him winning that semi-final. Played masterfully and deserved every inch of that victory. Well done indeed. And Noah, really impressive stuff from a player that we're going to see later this year at the World Championship. But his weekend's not over because, of course, he still has the finals to contest as well.
Totally. Yeah. Huge congrats to Aiden. Really well played. He clearly knows his Living End deck well, with, as we saw, with a couple of really tight little interactions. And, you may think, do these interactions even matter that much? They matter so much, even if they don't seem like they do. These really, really minute things, they add up so quickly in your games. So being really comfortable with your deck and knowing its ins and outs and being able to spot these situations that may not seem like they're that huge of a deal really make the difference.
Well done, and looking forward to seeing more of this bloke and his Living End deck in the finals. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, get our next match set up We do have to have your company for it as well. So stick with us, my friends. Apologies for the brief technical issues that we're having. We're going to get things sorted out, and we'll be back with more Magic for your enjoyment in just a little bit.
This is the heavy play equipment.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the feature match area. We're in the interview area, brought to you by Heavy Play. I'm Tanner Grayson, joined by Aiden Lamson. Now, Aiden, blistering match here. I mean, you've 2-0'd back-to-back matches, both against Yawgmoth. Is your deck just that good against that deck?
I think the 4 mainboard subtleties probably had something to do with it, but other than that, I don't think I'm favored.
You really don't think you're favored, and you just 4-0'd like 20 minutes?
Yeah, I lost to one of them in the Swiss. Not the players, but the Yawg deck. It wasn't different as far as I could tell, just had endurance at the right time.
All right, that's pretty important. Now, look, we'll talk about your deck here in just a little bit more in a second. Let's talk about your weekend coming in. You've never played an RC before, right?
No.
So you've never played an RC. Pretty good result so far. You're into the finals.
Yeah, I think so.
You've never qualified for a Pro Tour.
Nope.
Let's check that one off as well. And so if you've never played a Pro Tour, I think it's safe to assume you've never played in the World Championships before then, right?
That'd be correct.
So we're just going to check all the boxes here this weekend and put a nice little check in your pocket, too.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'll
you're
figure it out.
getting one no matter what, but has it sunk in yet?
Absolutely not. I'm like half here right now. It'll hit me when I try to go to bed tonight, and I'll start catastrophizing about how I am going to go to Worlds. It's insane.
I wonder how much sleep you're actually going to get tonight. It's got to be a very small amount. Now, you were talking to me a little bit about your sideboard here, too, that was a little bit different than normal. Kind of back to the real stuff here, the deck list. And tell me a little bit about the sideboard changes you made from the stock list, because everything else looks pretty similar. And then I have a question about your land slot, too.
Absolutely. In the sideboard, I opted for a 1 of Dead Gone and a 1 of Dismember, a 1-1 split. Also a 1 of Ingot Chewer in addition to 2 Foundation Breakers. The Ingot Chewer was just for Chalice. I thought there'd be a lot of Chalice in the room because Rhinos was expected, one of the reasons I played Living End. And the Dead Gone, good against Ragavan, good against Dothy. Dismember, also good against those matchups, but kills Yawg and kills a Rhino. Instead of doing 2 Dead Gones, I opted for the black card, which pitches to Grief and kills Yawgmoth.
And let's talk about one other thing. This is one really surprised me. When I look at your land slot, I don't see any of the Surveil lands.
None at all. I've come across a few Living End players in this event that have been playing the Surveil lands. They think it's strictly better. I disagree. It's a personal choice. Obviously, the stats haven't come out yet. I could be proven wrong, and I'd be happy to. I feel that they're too slow. I'd rather cycle by shocking a land, and you're not always going to find a creature on top, so like, what does Surveil do really most of the time?
Well, we're not sure who's right or wrong so far, but this is a pretty big statement that you might be in the right. Aiden, congratulations on making the finals. Congratulations on making the World Championships next year. Best of luck in this finals.
Thank you, Tannen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the booth. Right tonight, joined by Noah Walker here, and we're going to get underway with our second semi-final, and we've got a special guest commentator as well. Noah's cat is up in the mix too. What's going on with your cat, Noah?
Hades is excited. He's like, man, I can't believe Aiden just made the finals of this tournament for his first ever RC, going to Worlds, just all the boxes. And Hades he can't contain his excitement. And I understand because I can't either.
Yeah, huge moment for Hades as well. Very sweet little cat, very vocal little cat. So we'll have more special comments from Noah's cat as the matches continue. Right now, let's have a look at the deck list of the players that we're going to check in with for the semi-finals. Min Nguyen, our first player here, a friend of yours, Noah, and someone I understand you're looking forward to seeing in action.
Yeah, Min is a good buddy of mine. I am so proud of him for how far he's come in this tournament. His list looks really, really clean to me. He opted to just take it nice and simple, and no new fancy stuff in this Team Rhinos deck. Just playing what he knows, and it looks like the list is great, and he's been playing great. So
yeah, it's really paid off here. But yeah, you can see how clean this list is. Lots of 4-ofs. Flame of Arnor, one of the only 2-ofs. Murktide Regent, Subtlety. Apart from that, it's all 4-ofs all the way down. So this is a man with a plan, and let's see how things go for Min. His opponent, the 5-color creativity player that we saw completely demolish his way through the quarterfinals. It was a brutal takedown there by Andrew Varel, who is playing a list that seems, just from a disruptive standpoint, the interaction that this deck is playing, it seems really, really well chosen.
Yeah, sick list for Andy as well. Really, really, really nice run. I love, honestly, all of his inclusions. I really like the sideboard that he decided, just an Elish Norn and some Terracodons as his other win conditions, Archon is just so powerful that he felt like he didn't really need to, gum his deck down with random cards. So really, really good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, really impressive list and impressively played as well in our first quarterfinal. So we've got a hell of a match coming up between these two. Min Wei and Andrew Varel. Let's jump into it. Our second semi-final. One of these players will be going to the World Championship. You can see Min on the left-hand side of your screen, Andrew on the right. And it's time to get underway. Let's have a look at Min's hand there. Seems decent. Not sure if he had the third land there, but assuming that he finds it or indeed just has it tucked away at the back of his hand, he is in business. Fire Ice, an early piece of disruption as well. Oh, no, that's a dead gone, excuse me. Yeah, I think he's got the 3 lands and the Cascade spell, so all systems go for Min. Seems like Hades is a proof in...
He's like, oh, yeah. He's like,
oh, yeah. Voicing his approval of this approach here. Yep.
Yeah, he's excited. Min with a really solid hand.
What a cute little meow your cat has. Not like the annoying howl that my cat Scotia has. My goodness. Anyway, Andrew Varel, 2 fetch lands. Not a lot of action apart from that. So let's see how Min wants to proceed. No, given that it is an open deck list tournament, what does Min need to keep in mind heading into the key turns that the Rhinos deck wants to play? You don't just jam your 3-drop into a potential your Cascade spell into potential mana tithe here. Yeah,
it's so tough if you're Min, honestly, because you like we've been talking about, you don't really want to just take off your turn 3 and do nothing just out of respect for mana tithe, and then in the same token, you don't want to just run into a mana tithe that it'll play right into Andrew's game plan. So I think Min kind of deciding, yeah, I do need to take it a little bit slower, respect these mana tithes. Not just randomly lose to something that I can play around, but also
really?
Sorry.
Good. No, good.
I was just gonna say he also does have this end of turn outburst, right? So I guess that's sort of his way of not playing around the mana tithe, but maybe playing. Oh, he is respecting. He's respecting it. He's just grabbing some lands. I like this. Okay.
And cycles away the Lorien revealed. The point I was going to make here is just how different we're seeing things in Modern with the addition of these Surveil lands, right? Like,
yeah, totally.
What you normally did with an end of turn fetch years ago when you didn't have any mana to spend was you'd save yourself 2 life. You'd go and get a shock land and you put it to play tapped, and that'd be fine, right?
Totally.
Now with the Triomes, it was like, well, I don't need the mana this turn. I'll go and get a Triome and then unlock all 3 of my colors, or 3 of the 5 colors I'm playing, whatever. Now we're seeing players who have no need for mana and a fetch land going and surveilling, taking a quite meaningful game action here, particularly in decks that use the graveyard. These Surveil lands don't look like much, but they really are having a huge impact on this format.
Totally, Riley. Slowing it down a bit, giving players a bit more options when they don't have too many spells. So,
all right, the Cascade trigger resolves, finds a Crashing Footfalls, and it looks like Andrew doesn't have any answers. If he had a mana tithe, then Min was able to play around it by waiting until turn 4. So, really cluey stuff from him. And now he gets his 2 4/4 Rhinos, and it's up to Andrew to find an answer. Or sorry, is this Crashing Footfall still on the stack? Look, it seemed to me like Andrew let it resolve, but I guess I didn't see his.
I think he's fetching and then reprieving.
Oh, he is.
I like.
Okay. I misread his body language. I thought he shrugged and nodded as though the spell were resolving, but no. Okay, the reprieve is going to send the Crashing Footfalls back upstairs. All right, fair enough.
He's just so casual with his body language that you can't you just can't even tell what's going on. Like, yeah, he could be losing, he could be winning.
All right, well, my mistake. And Andrew Varel draws off of the reprieve, and it's now back to Min, who doesn't have another Cascade card that I could see there. A lot of interaction in hand, but I don't know how useful a lot of this interaction is.
I think you might have a Shardless Agent. This game one is really, really tough for Min and his Team of Rhinos deck. It seems like, Andrew's construction of his deck was really, really intentional for being good against the Rhinos. Like, as you said, Min doing a really good job in these open deck lists, respecting the fact that Andrew's deck has mana tithe in it. And then, Andrew kind of being able to punish him by the game going slower, which is exactly what he's looking for, in his Indomitable Creativity deck. And being able to be like, yeah, you played around Mana Tithe. Sorry, I had Reprieve. So it doesn't really matter that you took a turn to wait. Oh, I love this. I love this play from Min. Just using the Tishana's Tidebinder as a way to stop Andrew from, furthering his mana base. I think that could be one of his best possible ways to cheese out a win here. And also he has a Fire Ice to make sure that Andrew won't be able to just play an Indomitable Creativity here. So really, really heads up play from Min.
What do we got going on here?
It looks like Min opted not to use the Fire Ice. I am so surprised by that. Maybe I misread his hand. Maybe it's not a Fire Ice, but I really would have expected after shutting down one mana source here. I might have expected him to try to do another.
All right, Surveil now for Andrew. Can we keep that one on top potentially? Yep, likes what he sees. All right, so back to Min here. So now do we see the Fire Ice?
Yeah, I mean, this is fine too, I guess. Min just kind of deciding, I don't need to tax Andy's mana as much. It seems like he's kind of plentiful on lands. I just want to be able to stop, the potential of an Indomitable Creativity. So I don't hate it, honestly.
All right, Shardless Agent in hand, dead gone, and I think there was a Murktide Regent that was just picked up. In comes the Tishana's Tidebinder. This card has had a much bigger impact than I imagined it would. When I first saw it, I thought, okay, it's decent. It's like a, respectable sized body. It's a stifle, which don't tend to be too good depending on the format that they're in. But holy moly, Tishana's Tidebinder has certainly exceeded expectations. All right, Shardless Agent puts a Crashing Footfalls on the stack. And this one's just going to resolve straight up, obviously, with Andrew tapped out. So Min finding his footing here. Looks to be in a much better spot than before.
Yeah, Min really, honestly, kind of taking over this game. If Andy doesn't have good interaction in his hand for this huge board state that Min is about to amass, I don't know if there's anything that he can do. Min here getting to also drop a Murktide Regent, having this dead gone in his hand, either to try and cheaply answer like a 1/1 token from a Dwarven Mine in response to an Indomitable Creativity, or if he has an extra card in his hand, he can just let the creativity happen and then bounce the Archon afterwards. So Min has a lot of options here.
And it looks like Andrew's facing down what is lethal, right?
Definitely, yeah. And it looks like his hand is just a bunch of creativity, so there's not too much you can do about it.
Bunch of creativities, no targets for them as well. There's Prismatic Ending, Ren and 6, and I think another Fable hanging out the back there in addition to a land. So discards 2, draws 2, has to find something special here. Mana Tithe.
He found it. That's exactly what he needed was Mana Tithe.
Dwarven Mine. Okay, so the Indomitable Creativity with the Dwarven Mine. So did he just find the exact 2 cards that he needed there?
Definitely, yeah.
Well,
he had a fetch land.
He had a fetch land. Okay, so he needed specifically the Mana Tithe.
Yes, but not taking 1 damage is also great. But I think Min can make. Yeah, he has 2 cards in hand, so he can make a really tight play of just letting it happen and then playing around Mana Tithe on the following turn, as it's like the only possible card that could stop him from winning the game. So.
All right, so Min going through the motions here, thinking his way through this position. All right, Indomitable Creativity resolves. This will result in an Archon of Cruelty appearing. And because Indomitable Creativity makes you shuffle your entire library, you don't have to do it 1 card by 1 card like you do with something like Cascade. So here's the Archon. Going to come to play. It triggers, discards Crashing Footfalls, sacrifices the Shardless Agent, On 15 now, Andrew.
Oh wow, and he also has the prismatic ending, so he already, wow, really just so tight.
What a turn. What a turn there for Andrew Varel. That was unbelievable, the way that things came together for him there. That rummage effect from the Fable was just backbreaking. But Min's still able to put on a fair bit of pressure here and attack for, what is this, 14?
Yeah, it looks like
Oh,
14B.
you mentioned that one life being important because the fetch land here.
Exactly. Wow.
Right?
Literally, him
Wow.
just natural drawing. He drew natural Dwarven Mine, had the prismatic ending in his hand, also the pithing needle to shut down.
Yeah, that's any like he needed those exact 2 cards to find himself in this situation.
Okay, Mana Tithe, ensuring that Andrew here can cast another creativity. I don't know if it's enough though. He'll gain life up to 4 and then be facing 2 lethal threats. So I think the writing might just be on the wall for him. And he really just
Sorry, go ahead.
trying to find something. I don't think there's anything though. I don't think there's anything he can do. Like maybe if he could draw another prismatic ending here, and then he would be at exactly. He would be able to chump block the 7/7 Murktide with his Archon. So because he has a fetch land, he's going to gain up to 4. He could play the fetch, search for another white source, and then prismatic ending if that's what his draw is here, or Leyline Binding, I guess. Does he have all 5? Riley, can you tell? Does he have all 5 land types in play? Do you know what this triome is?
So that looks like is that a Jetmir's Garden, I think?
Oh, okay. I don't. So he doesn't look like he has a blue source. Then maybe.
I don't know if that might be a Xander's Lounge. I'm not sure. It's difficult to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this means he's technically alive as well. Chump block, go to 1 life. Wow, Min just drawing.
Wow,
fire.
off the top just like that. So Min Nguyen puts it away. Game number 1, all his. And we're going to take a quick break here. Unfortunately, I'm having some internet issues. I'm going to go and reset my router, Noah, and see if that sorts things out. Do apologize for the interruption, everyone. We won't be too long. Stick around, a quick break, and we'll be back with the second game of this semifinals before you know it. All right, we're back. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Apologies for that. I investigated the issue, and it turns out that the issue that we were having. Thanks for your patience there. Was well, I'm not sure if you. Sorry, are we still having issues with my audio there? Okay, I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Apologies for the interruptions and delays, everyone. I think the string that connects the tin can from my house to the internet node was being, was touching a tree branch or something. But we've got it sorted out now, and we're ready to go now with game number 2. Min Nguyen 1 game up here after being able to put Andrew's ambitions to bed in game number 1. So let's see how things turn out in our post-sideboard games.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this matchup goes. I would expect, Andrew to be really favored in these game 1 matchups. So Min taking down the first game, I think really huge for him and his Rhinos deck. I think being on the play was really huge for him in that first game, having a little bit of a luxury to play around, these cards like Mana Tithe and stuff.
So what are the cards that the creativity deck can bring in here? Already, obviously, a pretty good matchup, particularly with cards like this Teferi. But out of the board comes cards like Silence. What else have we got? Flusterstorm. Anything else that catches your eye from the sideboard of the creativity deck?
Nothing else that seems particularly great. I mean, I could see him maybe wanting to bring in some copies of something like Get Lost, just as like a last-ditch effort to kill a Murktide or something. But he has already like a good number of removal spells. So I don't know if he needs too much. And also like his deck is kind of the sort of deck that you really want to streamline as much as you possibly can. So I wouldn't be surprised if Andy chose not to bring in too many cards here.
On the other side of things, it's so incredible to see a Teamer deck that is so heavy on non-basics play both Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon. I don't know if this is the matchup for it, but no, it shuts off those Dwarven Mines, makes it harder for tokens to be put into play. Also, against a deck that's trying to curve Ren and 6 into Teferi. I don't know. I don't know if you break... I just love Blood Moon so much, man. I just want to see Blood Moon cast, you know?
Yeah, I could see it, honestly. It doesn't sound too bad to me. Just having, some extra ways to maybe shut, Andy's plan down if you're Min. It doesn't look like there's too much else that he's going to want to bring in a matchup like this. Mystical Dispute, we were talking about it a little bit. I think it's one of those typical cards that you would like to see in these matchups. But against Andy's build specifically, there's not too many great hits. It's mostly just like a 3-cost mana leak. So,
all right, Flame of Anor is cast, and Min then evokes a Subtlety to counter the Ren and 6, which is put on the bottom by Andrew. So Min taking care of the Planeswalker, but here's another one he has to deal with. This one might be a little more... No, okay, another Subtlety, this time hard cast as well. And you can see Andrew is a lot more determined to keep this Teferi around. Puts it on top of the library instead of on the bottom.
Yeah, like for example, in a spot like this, if Min has a card like Blood Moon or Magus of the Moon, the game might just end on the spot.
Yeah, because you've got your basics, you've got a threat on the board.
Yeah, and he already has a forest, and exactly like you said, the basics, forest and island. There's some spells that he can't hard cast, but
But the thing is, he has more than just the one basic island. Like, he can fetch for a basic island with Lorien revealed.
Exactly.
So he's actually got, 5 more basics, essentially, 5 more basic islands if he's going to play this Blood Moon. This is all hypothetical. We don't know that he's actually brought in Blood Moon. I just want to see Blood Moon, dude. Come on. Let's go. All right, we're going to see Ice tap down the Jetmir's Garden upkeep by the look of things. And Andrew doesn't have anything to use that mana for in the upkeep. So, and doesn't have a land as well. So critical for Min there. Able to ice that land, keep that Teferi off the battlefield for another turn, get in uninterrupted by the Subtlety. So Mana Tithe, double creativity, I think double Fable there as well. And now a Mystical Dispute to get rid of this Teferi. Min is firing on all cylinders, dude. Here he comes. Watch this.
Yeah, I would have liked him to keep that Mystical Dispute in his hand, actually, and then just use the Tishana's Tidebinder on the Teferi, whatever ability Andy chose to use, just so that he could have access to the Mystical Dispute here. And, because the Tishana's Tidebinder would turn off Teferi's passive. So I'm a little bit surprised with the sequencing. I think, that if there's something that does cause him to lose the game, it could be that. But it looks like he has an answer here as well. So.
And now the Dwarven Mine to put an Archon of Cruelty into play, but Min Nguyen has the Dead gone, and with it, the deployment of this card, bouncing the Archon back to the hand and attacking for lethal, it means that Min Nguyen will be a competitor at this year's World Championship. A huge moment for him, and Noah, for you as a mate of this fellow, I imagine you're also very, very pleased to see Min Nguyen get up and about there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm ecstatic. Both these guys I've seen around playing Magic for a really long time. Min making strides with his technical play, getting a lot better player recently. It's showing in his results and it's showing in his deck building. So really excited for him. Condolences to Andy. It sucks to lose like that playing for such huge stakes. He didn't really get to his deck just kind of pooped on him, if I'm being honest. Like you saw his hand, it was just like a bunch of indomitable creativities. Didn't really get his mana going too much that game. So really unfortunate for him. But, I got my eye on Andy. He is such a sharp player. I wouldn't be surprised if you told me, for the next RC, he was also in a position to qualify for the World Championships. So condolences, but congrats on a sick run for him as well.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Andy in the future, of course. But Min Nguyen, our second finalist, and someone I'm very excited to see play as we crown our champion here at DreamHack Denver. But my friends, it's not just the players in the final who'll be walking away with a hefty payday today. It could be you in the chat as well. We've got another giveaway here from our friends at Heavy Play supporting this stream. Thank you so much to Heavy Play for supporting the broadcast of competitive Magic. And we hope that you'll consider supporting them as well by buying some of the terrific products they've got on offer, heavyplay.com. 10% off with the coupon code Denver2024. And a potential further discount for a lucky winner in the chat. Type Heavy Play into the stream chat right now, and you'll go into the draw to win $20 in store credit, heavyplay.com, coupon code Denver2024. And of course, $20 could be coming your way. Heavy Play in the chat. A $20 voucher going to some lucky viewer out there. Once again, Noah, want to draw attention to the products that Heavy Play have on offer, but also just thank them for supporting competitive Magic. These broadcasts have a lot more going on than people realize. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I can tell you that most of the people out there probably don't have an appreciation of just how much these broadcasts cost. So having supporters and sponsors like Heavy Play on the at our backing, it means that, I mean, most of the reason they cost so much is because, we've got Noah Walker and he doesn't come cheap. So it's good that we are able to pay his exorbitant wages thanks to supporters and sponsors like Heavy Play.
True. Yeah. Shout out to Heavy Play, being able to afford a big shot like me, not every day you get to see me on the big screen. So Heavy Play really coming through with the good stuff. No, on a serious note, huge shout out to Heavy Play. Like, if you have any interest in competitive Magic, if you want to keep seeing these streams happen that I love so much to watch and be a part of, you should totally check out their site. They're giving away a bunch of free stuff all throughout the weekend, and their products just honestly look awesome. So check it out.
Yes, indeed. Heavyplay.com, coupon code Denver2024. My friends, the final is almost upon us. We're going to take a quick break and get set up for it. And on the other side of this, we will be crowning the champion of Dreamhack Denver. And we hope to have your company as we do it. $30,000 going to first place and 15 to second. So a $45,000 game of Magic coming your way in just a little bit. Stick around, everyone, on the other side of this, the finals of this modern tournament.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the feature match area. We're in the interview booth, brought to you by Heavy Play. I'm Tanner Grayson, joined by Min Win. Min, congratulations. You just made it into the finals. You told me in your interview earlier, you came here to win, and you've been doing it all day long. You got one more ahead of you. How are you feeling right now after qualifying for the World Championships?
I feel so elated. Words can't even describe how I feel right now. Like, it's my childhood dream, I'm so happy about it.
Now, you got a tall task in front of you here. You're going to be playing against Living End in the finals, and a player that's on quite a little bit of a streak. He's going nuts. He's killing everybody in like 10 minutes. So hopefully your match goes a little bit longer than that. But how are you feeling about this matchup?
I have 4 endurances in my sideboard for a reason. I don't feel good about it. Let's hope we keep running hot. That's all I got to say.
Now, one last thing. We kind of glazed over this a little bit at the beginning. You've now qualified for the World Championships. You're about to be playing for a trophy here in the finals. For the winner's trophy. There's a second place one as well. But you've now qualified for the World Championship. You said this was something you've thought about since your childhood. Has it sunk in yet, or is this something that it's going to take a little bit of while? Is this something you really came in here thinking this is something you could do this weekend, or is this a surprise?
Well, I know I'm perfectly capable of it, but getting this far and actually living it is a different kind of feeling. I can't even express it, to be honest with you. But I'm very confident in my abilities, and I'm very happy that I've been put in this position. I've been running hot, and you got to be a little lucky as well as good to be able to do well. So I'm here. I'm lucky. I'm good. Well,
Min, you're here. You got one more match ahead of you. Best of luck, and let's try to take that first place trophy home.
Yes, let's do it.
MTG Deckbox Max has modern premium construction techniques